Anyone talking about how the channel just hit 666?
I'm talking about it. Me, the Dark Lord of Origin.
Oh, sorry. Something just came through me.
It actually went up to 69 when we recorded this.
Oh, ooh. That's the funny number. If someone asked me, would you like some pie? I would always assume it was an actual pie, not pizza. It's the same as someone asking, would you like a sandwich? And handing you a hot dog. Don't make English more confusing than it already is. So it looks like I won that argument. Even though that argument didn't really have a point. Like, I've re-listened to it. That was like our second take at that same argument. And I re-listened to it a couple times and I'm like, what is wrong with both of us? Like, we're both talking about two completely different things. I in particular sound insane.
Bruh, I just found the solution. What about a pie with pizza flavor?
Okay, guy.
That's a calzone.
I don't know. I think a calzone is a ravioli or a dumpling. Grif.
A what?
You heard me.
Calzone is a ravioli?
Or a dumpling. A calzone, because it's completely covered in dough. It is pinched end to end. A calzone is a dumpling.
So is an Uncrustables a pie?
Yes, an Uncrustables is a dumpling, not a pie. A pie has to be open on top. A pie is open on top.
No, it's not. No, what about the pie topping is like putting the top crust in the pie is like a big.
There's no crust. There's no crust on top. Well, not on every pie. Let's say that. I get what you're saying. Every
cartoon pie in the history of pie has had that checker.
Yes, but not topping. Like. But think about like key lime or lemon meringue or even cherry pie. They don't have a top layer of crust.
Cherry pie does. Now you're talking about cheesecakes.
You know what? I'm getting pie and cheesecake confused. Which again, like I'm like, I pull you close. I look at you earnestly. Am I dumb? Am I stupid?
How would I know?
That's the best dinner. How would I know, Grif? How would dolphins cook their meat? They live in the ocean.
Obviously, they would raise it up to the top and they would cook it in the sun.
You just made this person look like an idiot.
It's really sunny in the middle of the ocean. Did anybody read the book Timothy of the Cay, where the kid opens his eyes and immediately blinds himself out on the ocean? Like,
that sounds like a delightful read.
You can. It's wonderful. No, I read it in like 5th grade.
Why do they always make you read the worst stuff in the 5th grade? I'm sorry. It's always like, a person's first and last name: Timothy Stritch, Bibbidi Quabbles, Jimbo Mabay, and it's always like, I lived in the 18th century where stuff was bad. One day my ma got bit by a hog and her leg fell off. It's like, why are you making me read this? I'm 10. I don't know what this is. I don't need this.
Wow, I've never heard anyone do a good Fred Flintstone impression before.
Well, now you've heard it, Ban. I just say Ban. That's really all I can do. The rest. All right. To answer Grif's question about if dogs and cats would be as smart as humans if we never developed carnivorous traits. The thing about human intelligence is that it served a specific evolutionary advantage both in terms of developing language and developing communal systems. Humans needed to develop language because they're vocal learners, which is not the case for most of the animal kingdom. And developing agriculture served an advantage because being vocal learners meant that having more people to listen to served a necessary biological need, as opposed to dogs and cats who can easily survive by themselves. The easy access to meat, in other words, wouldn't really kickstart higher faculties in animals because those higher faculties are only there because humans needed them to survive. This is a long-winded answer to some weird theory that you are positing.
I'm very thankful for this. So my question was, because I read somewhere that humans started to become really smart as soon as we learned to cook food because we got more calories, right?
We had more and faster energy, and so there was. I think it's like there's time.
It raised
for
our
brain to develop.
Brain function is what I read, and so I was like, so if like a dog and a cat had learned. Or I was actually like, if we had never learned to do that, would we still be as smart as a dog and a cat? Or would a dog and a cat like catch up to us?
It's interesting.
I think that answers the question.
Well, it definitely does, because what people misunderstand about the concept of evolution, they say survival of the fittest. It doesn't mean the strongest. It means, you're selecting for advantageous traits, and at some point our ancestors selected more vocally communicative stuff, and then eventually eating more meat mean we had more time, our brains are growing. We're a weird species, dude. Like, eventually we're not going to be able to be birthed normally because our heads are too big. Like, it's already happening. It's weird stuff, and I think we're one of the few creatures whose brains continues to develop once we're outside of the womb. Most of them just come out, splat! They hit the ground, they're like, and then they go eat grass, and then they become our food. Anyway, all right, it's your turn.
All right, I'm curious about something, and this is plain and simple. Do you two each individually draw your character for each thumbnail, or is Parker the only one who draws all that? Only one draws all that.
Well, we split it. We just split duties.
Yeah. I think this one was done by Parker.
Mm-hmm. So it's usually split along like the series lines. So for this one, I've been doing them. I think Grif did all of Mario World and Metroid. And then, so if you can see our hand in it, that's great. If not, that's also great. It's just like whoever has the time. Like, we both work on this stuff and try to get it out to you because we care and we're your friends. I beseech thee, Grif Dinner, grant my whims. I wish to have the finest hat in the land, one that affords full invulnerability whilst donned. What is the curse of my request? Oh.
The hat is really, really, really itchy.
So not quite, well, full invulnerability. Are they invulnerable against the itchiness? Or is the invulnerability is on the outer layer?
Against the itchiness from the thing giving you invulnerability.
Okay. I mean, right? I feel like
if you took the hat off, if someone somehow got a knife up into the hat without you having to take it off, and then stabbed you in the head under the hat, that would work. Because the hat itself is part of the invulnerability.
You need to define invulnerability. That's the key. It's like, well, can they take the hat off? Are you invulnerable to being touched? Are you untouchable?
I think it doesn't matter. As long as the hat's itchy, it ruins the whole wish.
Yeah, you want to take it right off.
Nothing's worse than an itchy hat. Nothing.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right. Literally nothing. This is you, this one.
Oh, it's me. Grif, you triggered a yawn from me. How did you do that? Empathy is what you have, sir. Ma'am.
Gentle them. I've only gotten this far once. Clearly, the solution is to let Grif take the reins from here. You don't know what you're asking. You don't know what you're asking. Do you want this series to go on forever? We try to get in and get out so you guys get a soupçon of the delicious flavors that a game has to offer. If Grif takes over, we're going to be going to episode 500.
First of all, that is true. Second of all, you just want to play.
Yeah, both of those are true. I'm mad when we're not recording those episodes. I'm like, I want to get in and finish the run. Like, it is crazy. I think this one's you again.
Since the spooky month is almost upon us, are there any plans to play any spooky games, Resident Evils or Hills, or that are silent? Maybe some space that is dead? We definitely were talking about doing a Resident Evil game, like Resident Evil 6.
I know we were somewhat concerned about hope we can get the footage of that. Did you play Resident Evil Village?
No.
Oh man, that game is so good, and I've done 3, 4, 5 runs of it, so I would know every single thing about it. That one's amazing. I want to commend this person for not saying spoopy. I hate that.
Spoopy?
Spoopy. People are like, it's spoopy. They replaced the K.
Do you know that
P.
today's Friday the 13th?
It is. What kind of misfortune do you think is going to befall us this day?
I think that all of our videos will get Run DMC striked.
I actually would enjoy a Run DMC strike over a DMC. I like that idea. That's really good. They come out, you hear Aerosmith playing, and they do that song that they did over Aerosmith. That would be good. Can't even remember what it was. Well, it's been another exceptional week. We're still going through A Link to the Past. I think soon you and I want to check out the Mario Golf update. I think we still wanted to do a tour of Grif's Animal Crossing Island. And guess what? I went ahead, dude, and I started up my Animal Crossing file again, and I'm up to speed. So when we do it, I can come and visit you. And take a look around.
Do you have any nice clothes?
I will.
We have a dress code.
I'll figure something out. I'll make sure that I look banging and that I'm there and I'm dressed to the nines, whatever that means. I'm sure if you look it up, every old phrase nowadays, you're like, oh yeah, that's harmless, and you look it up and it's like, this is from when somebody would get their head twisted off because they didn't pay for cheese, so you shouldn't say it anymore. And I'm like, why? That doesn't make sense. It's like dressed to the nines. Well, nines refers to the number of years you had to serve if you dared not show up to work as a 5-year-old. You got 9 years, and they'd say you were dressed to the nines. I'm like, why? Why does every old-timey saying have to be horrible? Anyway, you know what takes my mind off of that is being here with you and reminiscing.
Yeah.
And just thinking about what a week we've had together and what a journey we've had together.
Wonderful week and a wonderful journey.
And I'm grateful that you're here with me to talk all about it here at the bar.
Everything's going to be okay.